want $300 by tomorrow at noon. That's like what I've set in the universe. I set that intention. That was something I needed, and that was what I put out there. Now, as of me filming this video, I have gotten 80 some odd dollars of it in the last few hours. Money line, I'ma run it every time. All right, guys, so I'm gonna drop a bit of information up front before we get into this video, because there are a few pieces of information that are time sensitive and I want to get into your hands before we really dive into everything. So Money Mentality Makeover is still on the wait list. Official enrollment opens up on the 15th of February. So I'm filming this on the 10th of February. I'm hoping to have this up tonight and or tomorrow morning. I will probably push it out tonight so you guys really get that wait list deal, because the coupon, the discount code is so good. Now, if for whatever reason, because the link that I'm going to leave in the description box, at least for the next few days, is going to be the wait list. Sometimes that discount code still works for the next few days. So if you have the chance and you're already ready to pull the trigger, and this is just you wanting like a 6-month update from an alum, just get on that. Like, do yourself the favor. But I'm going to talk about what this looks like for me for the last 6 months. And I don't want to say that I want to set realistic expectations, because I think that one of the things you'll learn as you're going through this is that everybody has a different story. Everybody has different stories that they need to tell themselves and undo and create and just work through. So this is going to look different for every single person that goes through the program. And I actually sat down to look at what I put as my original like goals for Money Mentality Makeover, and I didn't hit any of them, but I did hit some of them, and that we'll dive into that in a second. But if you don't know what I'm talking about, if you just happen to be a part of the community and are really confused right now, Money Mentality Makeover is a mini course by Amanda Francis. It's a lot more than that. It's a very simple way to dive into it. But if you really want to understand the frequency of money and how you can attract money and your relationship with money and just living at a different level in life, and I want to say it's so much more than anything you've probably ever experienced or heard when it comes to money. And if you're just at the very beginning of being curious, check out our book, check out the audiobook. I prefer her audiobook. I mean, I read them all, but her audiobook, she recorded at the end of last year. So that's got the most up-to-date stuff. Like, she added some riffs into it. It's really her vibe. You pretty much can't go wrong with any of her content. And if you want to get kind of a feel for what it looks like in the smallest sense of it, of what going through the course is, check out her YouTube channel. Also, I'm going to try to make this video not forever long, but I have a lot to talk about. So this is going to be a very chatty video. I don't know that there are going to be a lot of cuts. It might not be the most visually exciting, but we're going to be here. I might show you some of what inside looks like. We'll see. We'll see how sneaky it is. But all right, so what you get with Money Mentality Makeover, for those of you who are on the wait list or maybe about to be on the wait list, you get the pre-work, you get 7 modules, you get 3 bonuses, and then you get additional stuff. Now, the pre-work is Drop the Money Struggle, and it's 10 videos. And if you've done it before, it's always worth doing it again. Like, I have restarted Money Mentality Makeover myself. So I started it in September. We'll talk about how I manifested that in a second. But I started it in September, and then sometime, I want to say November, she opened up Decoding Fame, and I signed up for that as well, which I might do a review on. I kind of really need to go back through that. We'll see. But I did both, and then kind of took a break. I went through the full sequence of stuff. But have found recently, as it's been opening back up, that I just felt drawn to go back through it again. And that is one of the major benefits of this course, is depending on how you view investments, it's one of those that it pays for itself. A lot of times you're going to end up manifesting the money back in some shape, form, or fashion. I'm not going to say that's like a forever thing. I'm not going to, you know, bet my life on that, but if you're willing to do the work and you're open to it, I promise you it pays dividends on its own. But you get it for forever. And that's the nice thing, is with there being so much content, and even with the pre-work, as I've been going through it again, listening to it, I've been playing the modules a bit more. I've been doing it differently this time. But you hear something different every time, because it's just, you're hearing a lot, and you're hearing a lot for the first time, and you're going to be attuned to different things as you're really kind of getting in touch with your own story. Something that resonated with me 6 months ago might not be the same thing that I'm like, oh, that thing right there, that's like clicking today. So you're always going to get something from it. And there's so much content to go through that it's phenomenal. It's about money, but it's not about money. And Amanda says that in the course. Editing room savvy here. And there's something I forgot to mention about the modules, because it's something that I learned when I signed up for Decoding Fame and did not know when I signed up for Money Mentality Makeover. And all of the modules are time-based release. So if you sign up at midnight on Friday, then you're not going to get a new module until midnight on Friday the next week. So it's always based on when you sign up. So if that's something that is impacting, or if you're somebody who has absolutely no patience, or you want to know, okay, when is my module going to be released? It's all based on the time that you originally signed up. Now, there are some things that I think are the most unique about doing this, and it was one of the things that struck me first, because at the beginning of going through Money Mentality Makeover, it can feel a little sluggish depending on how quickly you're having breakthroughs and what that looks like for you, and just your general process of kind of doing the heavy work, because it's a lot. It's not necessarily easy. You're going through your own emotional trauma. Like, you're taking yourself through therapy and you are redefining limiting beliefs and tackling it and going through it piece by piece. But one of the things that first struck me was, I think within the first days that I joined the Facebook group, there were women who were chatting casually about millions of dollars. And that's something that feels a little more comfortable for me to think about now, but it seems normal, and it doesn't seem normal. Like, it seems normal when you see it on the internet and it's not necessarily people you know, but when it's other women who are struggling and working through this and kind of in your bubble and on your level and all of these, it's a different scope. It exposes you to people that you're not going to be maybe exposed to with where you live and who you're already having conversations with. And there's just such a vulnerability and such a support system in the group. It's beautiful, beyond beautiful. I think that's one of the best things about it, is even still, you have access to the Facebook group. So if you have a limiting belief that's showing up for you, or maybe you're struggling with something, or you're kind of trying to work through something, there are all of these other women who are ready to help, because they know that your success is not taking away from their success, and that they're ready to help understand, because they grow and learn as they teach, and it's all kind of, everybody's in it together. So the Facebook group is amazing. Now, working through this the first time versus working through it now has been a different experience for me. There was a lot that I had to let go of and process, and honestly, the first time that I went through Money Mentality Makeover, I wasn't necessarily as focused on the money side of it. It was kind of there, and I definitely manifested things. There were brand deals that kind of came out of nowhere. I set the intentions to have a $10,000 month in October, and that ended up happening. But my original big goals were goals that I had, but they also were completely not in alignment with where I am now. And I think it all worked out for my good and in my favor. So I want to say that a lot of the goals that I set at first weren't the same for me, and how I approach things now, even in the last week, I've had a really big shift in just what it looks like for me to manifest as a person and how I do it. And that's part of the process of going through the course, is at some point you have to kind of understand and really take in and personalize what manifesting looks like for you, and what it feels like for you, and what feels aligned and what feels consistent for you. Because for me, a lot of times you receive when you're in the same energetic state as you were manifesting. And I thought, okay, what kind of state do I want to be in consistently? What do I want my natural state to be? I don't want to have to hype myself up 24/7 if that's what I need to be in that place of. And so I kind of got to a space of, I want to live in this neutrally zone. I want to be able to be happy, but I don't want the highs to be crazy high and the lows to be crazy low. I want a pretty solid consistency of happiness. And so as I got there, and as I kind of cleared that up for myself, I realized I'm really good at setting intentions. That's my superpower, for better or worse, is that I can not necessarily affirm something, because I've done affirmations and I've had times with affirmations, and honestly, and if you go through the course, Amanda has an and done topic. There's a module all about that. I feel like it's 5 or 6. But for me, I realized that intentions were my thing, and that I could just set an intention. And an example of that being that I had a dentist appointment on Friday, and I have a lot of anxiety about the dentist, and I set the intention that morning. I was like, this is going to be a great experience, and it's going to be one that completely turns around how I feel about going to the dentist. And it was. And it wasn't in a way that it was like the happiest thing ever. Like, y'all, I took an anxiety pill before I left because we needed that. But I felt a lot more educated. I felt a lot more seen. I felt a lot more empowered by it. And I understood, I've done that before and a lot of other times, but I understood that that's really a thing for me. That the repeating and the repeating and the repeating and the repeating triggers other things for me in my past, but setting an intention is very powerful for me. So as you're going through the course, different people will feel different things at different times. You'll see people who think, why isn't it working for me? This isn't working for me. Like, why is this not happening to me? And I went through that. The important part is to kind of let yourself have the time to learn, let yourself have the time to get clear, let yourself have the time to begin to understand what it looks like for you to manifest and what feels good for you. What's a good way for it to feel like you can manifest so that you can do it consistently, because that is the biggest key. So for me, things that I'm manifesting this week, I want $300 by tomorrow at noon. That's like what I've set in the universe. I set that intention. That was something I needed. And that was what I put out there. Now, as of me filming this video, I have gotten 80 some odd dollars of it in the last few hours. So it works. I promise you it works. I just think that you have to take the time and the space to learn. And it might be that you need to deal with one part before you can deal with the next part. I really had to deal with the relationship side of things for myself. It was important for me to get clear on a lot of that. And I kind of got clear on other things. And the more I got clear, because some of the things I originally set, and I will tell you guys, I set goals for a number of followers on Instagram. I set goals for a number amount of money per month. Hiring a full-time manager, to growing my team, and finishing my book. Now, a lot of those things, I'm glad I didn't get. I'm glad I didn't get all of them, because if I would have gotten them, it just would have not worked out for me. And if you guys follow me on Instagram or follow me on other platforms, you'll know that I'm kind of stepping back / rearranging how I do things. I have a different intention for how I want to move forward. So I've set the intentions for what this looks like for this time for me with a lot of clarity. And I will share them with you because I think it's helpful to see them. So I want to clear my credit card debt. That's something that I want for myself. That's something that I know that I'm fully capable of doing, and it just feels right for me. I was listening to one of the Drop the Money Struggle modules earlier today, and for me, a big part of this process has been reshaping how I see the universe and God and what that looks like from a religious background. And that's why I think you have to like take the time to understand what this looks like for you. It may not necessarily be the same for everybody else. You might have to readjust to not necessarily praying as much as showing up and owning your co-creative power, because that's a thing for me that pulls me out of it every single time, is when I stop taking ownership of it and I stop setting intentions. When I'm just praying and asking for stuff, I feel really helpless. I feel really powerless, and then I'm not manifesting anything. So understanding that might take a bit of time depending on where you're at in that journey. But clearing some credit card debt, I want to save $5,000. That's a low number. It'll probably be higher. My goal is for WSS to have a $40,000 month. And then I've broken down what that looks like for me and who that lets me pay and how that lets me kind of set myself up. I have intentions for the ways that I want to invest in myself, as well as, you know, put money away for retirement, do all of those things for the future, because I've been freelance for 10 years and I have none of that. So I would really like to do all of that. 100,000 on YouTube. That is something that we are manifesting. I think I've been trying to set intentions with every video on like what my numbers are for the video. And I think my intention behind this video is going to be 4,000 new subscribers. For the last video, I did 10,000, and I will keep sharing intentions with you guys if that's helpful for you and you kind of want to see that. But just know my intentions are my intentions, and it's taken me a while to get there. And the more I get clear about it, the more I kind of understand it. And we can do other things on what takes me out of it and what, you know, kind of boundaries to set and the best ways to do that. I can do all of that content. I'm happy to sit here and like have tea and chat with you guys about all of those things. But yeah, I made a shorter list and I got really clear this time, and I feel really good about it, but I also feel like I'm manifesting from a different place. So now I know that if you're thinking about signing up, you're thinking about making this investment, and you're thinking that it doesn't sound like she's done a lot in 6 months. And I really have, and there's a lot that I've healed on other sides of things has really shaped my relationship and history with it. But I think you also have to realize that when you're going through the modules, you're going through content that Amanda's been creating for years. So you're going through maybe when she was kind of towards the beginning of it to now when she's making millions of dollars a year. So it can feel like you're not going quick enough sometimes when you really have a lot of work to do, or you have certain areas that require a lot of work and you need to get more clear on those things, and you have to set boundaries with those things. And I've really had to focus on that a lot lately. And I've set very specific boundaries with social media. I've set very specific boundaries with where I ask questions to in the universe. Like, I went through a phase, and it always bites me in the butt, of like pulling tarot on my phone just for fun. And it completely takes me out of my power, out of my co-creative power, because I'm giving it away. It's fun every now and again, but it's really not what aligns for me. So give yourself the grace to go through the process of just getting clear and kind of being able to reframe those stories and feeling supported enough to go through the limiting beliefs and understanding what it looks like for you to move more quickly or more slowly, and just going, like, doing the work, because it's not a temporary thing. I think this is like anything else you would do. We all have some kind of history with diet mentality, and when it comes to money mentality makeover, you're making over your life in a lot of ways, whether or not it's money, whether or not you choose to apply it to a relationship, a job, any of it. It all works. You can apply it to all of the things. It's just going to take time. So I've had a wonderful experience with it. We're 6 months in. I'm doing it again. I'm very excited about it. I will continue doing it. But if you haven't signed up yet for the waitlist, do that. I will leave the link in the description box below. If you guys want to join me in going through it, if you want to DM me, if you have questions, if you're just feeling like you want some accountability, let me know on Instagram. I'm happy to be a part of that conversation. I'm not going to join the 2022 Facebook group right now, so if you guys want to talk to me about it, feel free to find me on socials. But I do want to say that I was not planning to do Money Mentality Makeover when I did it. And it was something that I want to say in like August was kind of a whisper for me. I just felt like I heard it. I felt like it was something that was coming for me, and it was kind of like, I wonder when Money Mentality Makeover opens up again. Like, not thinking that I could afford it, not thinking that it would be a thing. And so when it came around in September, this Amanda story popped up, and I missed the pre-sale. I didn't even think about it. I probably got an email, because you get a discount code if you've done Drop the Money Struggle or Energy and Frequency of Money. And I ended up just being like, let me see. And so I clicked on it and I looked at it, and it was one of those things. I think I manifested pretty much the entirety of what it cost for the course within, a few weeks with a brand deal. So if it's meant for you, if you're feeling led to do it, and you just are willing to take that leap of faith, do it. Know that you're going to have a lot of work, but you're going to have so much support in the process of doing it, because everyone's still doing the work. People are still growing and involved in it, and everybody who has done it really loves it. And there's no way to fail at doing it. If it takes you a little bit of time, if you hit a roadblock and you feel really triggered, it's okay to kind of take a breath and go from there. It's not something that has to be done really quick. You get to keep the course for forever. There's 7 modules right now. I believe Amanda said in her stories earlier this week. She kind of stumbled into it, but I think she's adding another module this year. And it continually grows as her knowledge grows, as she becomes somebody who is got more financial access and has more money and is making bigger decisions. She is sharing that wealth of knowledge. So it is a beautiful thing to invest in. It will 100% change your life if you let it. I wholeheartedly cannot say enough wonderful things about it. And I would gift it to a lot of people if I could. But I also think that part of the power in it is choosing to pay, like, it's choosing to do it. It's choosing to start having a relationship with money where you understand that it's your friend and that it can support you, and that by choosing to pay for this course, you are starting to set up a new energetic relationship with money. So I will happily share the things that I am manifesting, the money things that I'm manifesting, the intentions that I'm manifesting. If you guys want to know that, let me know. We'll set up some kind of video or something every month where I can tell you what my intentions are, and we can all join in the fun together. But that is all I have for you guys today. So I'm going to do the like nitpicky, questiony, whatever-ness in a blog post down below, because with a blog post, I can update it more regularly. So if there are really specific questions you have that I haven't answered in this, leave them in the comments, because it might be a question that somebody else has, or if you have like another kind of question that you don't necessarily want to talk about in the comments, come DM me. That way I can add them to the blog post if there's any comparison. So I'm going to talk you through the differences, energy and frequency of money, drop the money struggle, the book, all that. I will talk about like the differences between all of those things in the blog post below. So if you're wanting to really know the difference there, but if you're listening and you're ready, get on that wait list, my friends. So I love you. It is a good day to have a good day. Make sure you're subscribed to this channel. I upload new videos every single week. We're kind of on a 2-week upload right now. So everything here is all about living your happiest and healthiest life. If you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. And if you want weekly motivation in your inbox, if you want to be poured into, if you are ready to find a community that is happy to help you build the best life possible, make sure you're subscribed to my newsletter. I will leave that down in the description box as well. I love you. It is a good day to have a good day, and I will see you all in my next video, which I think it's going to be Monday, because this is kind of a bonus video, just an FYI.